What's up, S. Baker? Now, I've already done an extensive video on this topic called Less Religion Equals Less Crime, and it's pinned right at the top of my channel, and I also went ahead and tagged you in it so it's really easy for you to find. But you said, since agnostics and atheists make up the overwhelming majority of murderers, does this mean agnosticism and atheism is to blame? Furthermore, when we asked you where you're getting this data from in the comment section, you were so confidently just like, oh yeah, just look it up. It's so obvious. But bro, we have looked it up. And you know what? I'll look it up again for you. And you know what's interesting? You know what I found? I found a couple of studies that prove that many Christians think that atheists are more likely to become serial killers, although that's not what the data shows. As I already discussed in my previous video, the data shows that when there's more religion, there's actually more violent crime in a society, not the opposite. But a study was done where they literally tested a whole range of different demographics and asked them, based on scenarios they provided, whether or not they thought certain abusers were more likely to be atheists or more likely to be Christian. And those people taking the poll thought that atheists were more likely to be involved in violent crime, even though it's not true. Sounds like you might fall into this category. As I mentioned in my previous video, it is the highly secularized, non-religious countries that tend to fare the best in terms of crime rates, prosperity, equality, freedom, democracy, women's rights, educational attainment, and life expectancy. And those nations with the highest rates of religiosity tend to be the most problem-ridden in terms of high violent crime rates, high infant mortality rates, high poverty rates, and high rates of corruption. So on the societal level, that's obviously not true, but what about on the individual level? Has anyone done any research to see which serial killers were atheist and agnostic versus Christian? Yeah, they made entire lists actually. And if you pause and read these lists here, and here's another list for you, and one more. Screw it, let's sprinkle in a few more. Turns out if you compare the list of all the American serial killers that we've had over the last few decades, the predominant number of them were religious. It's no wonder that 68% of the prison population is actually Christian identifying. Or I found this study too, which says, however, data from the Federal Bureau of Prisons suggests that atheists are far less likely to commit crimes than religious people. And globally, the least religious countries have the lowest crime rates. So tell me again how agnostic atheists make up the overwhelming majority of mass murderers. You might want to remediate this course, bro. There's going to be a quiz at the end.